Hey guys, what's going on? Nivens here. Time for your weekly rock wind-up. First things first, condolences out to the Tomas Young family, and may he rest in peace. I mentioned him earlier this week when I was on air. From Kansas City, passed away in Seattle. He's featured in the documentary movie Body of War, which was produced by Phil Donahue, with the soundtrack provided by Serge Tankian from System of a Down, Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam. This movie came out quite a few years ago, right after the Iraq invasion, and that's basically what it focuses on, was how he signed up to go fight the terrorists after 9/11, was going to go to Afghanistan, last minute ends up in Iraq. Pretty much at that point is not really liking what's going on. I won't spoil it for you, but he ends up taking a bullet over there, comes back and becomes an anti-war hero. He also, being from Kansas City, gained a lot of press here last year when he was talking about taking himself off of the meds and possibly even ODing on morphine, but decided he wanted to live a little longer with his wife. But sadly, time just caught up with him as his body was deteriorating. If you have any chance over the weekend, please, by all means, check out the movie Body of War. And again, may he rest in peace, Mr. Tomas Young. Of course, a couple of big albums dropped this week. Pink Floyd's The Endless River and Foo Fighters' Sonic Highways. I've pretty much given both of these a run through. And how do I want to phrase this? Pink Floyd's basically is just leftover stuff from the Division Bell, all instrumental tracks minus I think the last one where there's actually some vocals on it. And then the Foo Fighters, it's a good album. As you guys know, I'm a fan of the Foo, but it's not, in my mind, it's not an extension from their body of work, leaving off from where Wasting Light left off, because it's, how can it be? He collaborated with Zach Brown, Gary Clark Jr., Preservation Hall Jazz Band, Rick Nielsen. Again, he was over a part of the Sound City soundtrack as well. So it almost feels like a bonus disc to the Sound City soundtrack. Not that it's a bad thing, because that was a good soundtrack, but in terms of being like a real Foo Fighters album, kind of on the fence about it. Well, even though rock is dead, according to Gene Simmons, it's not going to stop them all from putting on their clown makeup and participating in the 88th annual Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City. In fact, they're going to gig at it. So again, rock might be dead, but Gene and company still figuring out a way to cash in on it. Speaking of rockers keeping rock alive, Ozzy Osbourne having a frog named after him this week. I guess a team of researchers were in the Amazon forest for quite some time, stumbled across a frog that makes a weird bat-like sound, and given the story of Ozzy biting the head off a bat many decades ago, they have named it, and I have to redirect it from the sheet because it's so hard to say, Dendrospheus Ozzy. Dendrospheus Ozzy. And to close out your weekly rock wind-up, a new punk book is coming in 2016 entitled My Damage, 40 Years on the Front Lines of Punk by Keith Morris. Of course, for those of you that know, he was part of Black Flag, Circle Jerks, and currently off. I, for one, am looking forward to reading this, as Keith is a very unique and exciting character. I'm Nivens. Thank you very much for tuning in to your weekly rock wind-up. One quick side note as well, if you have a chance from now, say through April, to head down to the 18th and Vine District, and more importantly, the American Jazz Museum. Check it out, because you can see that my gal, yeah, that's a big rump right there. She stands about 25 feet high, and a beautiful display called Jazz Then and Now. Photograph was taken by a buddy of mine named Jeff Bailey, and also in the picture is another friend of mine named Rudy, who's part of a band called the MGDs. Nonetheless, so go check it out. It's pretty cool. Kardashian got nothing on that ass. Have a great weekend. Peace. Day. I don't like when they take the same word and rhyme them. I feel like that's just lazy.
Zippity-boo-bop-boo.
Zippity-doo-bye, zippity-day. See? Boom.
It's like scat.
Yeah.
I'm not a scat fan. I never
Wait, what kind of scat are we talking about here?